What's going on, everybody? It's me, QSSpawn, and today I'm going to be starting a series of programming tutorials in Java covering basic programming. And after that, once I finish the basics, I'm going to move on to Batch and then possibly HTML. Anything after HTML will be suggestions from the comments of programming languages or specific tutorials that you wish for me to produce. And so just leave a comment if you want any specific programming languages or just programs essentially themselves. So right now I'm going to be using Eclipse, which is an open source programming platform. And so I'm going to go open Eclipse. And you open Eclipse, it's going to ask you to designate a workspace, which is right here, this prompt. The workspace is where you store all your programs or projects, which is what they're called in Eclipse. So the default workspace is going to be C:users, a name, your username. My name's not actually common, but that's just the username I'm using. Desktop, and then workspace. So that works just fine for me, and it'll make a file right here called workspace, and it'll put a file in that folder called .metadata, which just holds all the essentials it needs to run and compile the programs that you make. So here we are. I've opened Eclipse, so I'm going to make file new Java project because we're using Java today. And so I'm going to name the project Hello World, because that's the program we're going to do today. I'm going to explain the starting of a program, and then I'm going to show you guys how to make a Hello World program, and explain it. So click next and finish. So click on the source and click new Java package name, or actually no, we won't do that. That's for a different tutorial. Click new class. Name the package com dot, and then what do you want? I'll make it QSSpawn dot hello world. That's what I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna name it hello world. I'm gonna add the public static void main string arguments method stub, because basically it just auto fills in a few bits of code that you would normally use anyways. So now I'll just delete this because it just shows that it auto generated this section of code right here, and it wasn't actually me. This is the package that we're in. The dots basically stand for slashes in a file directory. It would be, if I actually had files, it would be com/qsspawn/hello world. Oops. Oh wow, that was bad. com.qsspawn.hello world. Okay. Alright, now we're back to normal. And so this public class is your class file. Public means that all your other class files can link to or use a part of this class file. And then down here again is the starter of your program. Every single class file you ever make will start with public static void main, parentheses, string, double brackets, space, args, and bracket, and parentheses. The curly brackets means that all the code, these two curly brackets in specific, mean that all the code inside those brackets will be code that's executed. Anything out of those brackets is in the public class hello world and not specifically these. Which means if you want something not to be public static void main and you want it to be like declaring an integer or something, then you would put it in between these two brackets. So to start, we're just gonna explain this program. So this line of code is what I'm gonna explain first. Public means, I already explained public, it means that all of your other class files can use this class file. Static means that the code in this program will never be added to or deleted. It will always stay the same. The only thing that will change will be integers, strings, booleans, etc. Void is more advanced, so I'll get to that in a separate tutorial. Main means just this is the main body of all the code. And this little bit in parentheses, string, double bracket, args, means that if there's an argument, it will make a string, and then in the brackets it writes the arguments. So there's only one line of code for this whole Hello World program, and that is system dot out dot print ln, and you can see that it's auto finishing my program for me, my code. And so it's very useful if you want to use it, although occasionally you might have to use, for example, Notepad or Notepad++ to program, and so it's good to not get too used to this. But I'm going to use it anyway, so all I have to do is press enter, and it puts double parentheses and a semicolon to show that it's ended the line of code. What this is it goes to system, output, and then it prints on a line. ln means line. If I put just print there, it would just print it randomly. So if I did this line, system.out.print, blah, 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 and then another line, system.out.print, blah, 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 they would print in front of each other. But if it did print ln and then print ln on this line, it would print it on two separate lines. So I'm going to do print ln for this. And then any words that you want in here have to be inside apostrophes. So I'm going to make two apostrophes. And I'm going to put hello world. And so this is all the code. All it is it prints on a new line, output, hello world, into the terminal, which is down in this area. So I'm going to move this upwards. And now, okay, that works. So now all I have to do is go to File, Save, and it saves my hello world.java file. And then if I go to this button, this is Run. This button is run last. Here we are, debug. Debug is if you're worried that you have errors in your program. For example, if you have an error in your program on the left side here, I'll do an example. It'll have an X. That means, and then if you hover over the X or the light bulb, that may appear later. It'll show you what's wrong with your code, or at least what it thinks is wrong with your code, which is not always what actually is wrong. So if you have an error like that, you run it in debug mode, and it'll show you the exact error, what line, what character, and how you can fix it. Now, since we have no errors here, I'm just going to run it normally. Click Run, then save this resource, and then here we go, hello world, in the terminal. That's all this program does. Very simple, very basic, but it's extremely useful for when you need to print anything out into the console for a program. So that's all I'm going to be doing today. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment for if you want more tutorials on separate programming languages. And as always, see you guys later.